Friends, it's Saturday night. What better thing to be doing than be with Stash on the YouTube? Can you hear me? Is anybody out there? I think during the day I get more people from overseas. Thank you for the 38 hits on my last one, my friends. Tonight, I'm rambling about the Illuminati. The Illuminati. The Illuminati. The most popular thing on the internet. The third most popular thing. Or used to be. It's not as much. It used to be everything like Jay-Z connected to the Illuminati. Jay-Z connected. The gang signs. The hand mudras of the Illuminist. Who's on with me? My friend, identify yourself. Okay, so, yeah, Dan Brown's Angels and Demons. I guess that would be a Kabbalistic reference. Angels and demons. Talking to the angels and demons. Doesn't have anything much to do with that. It was a political secret society, if you don't know, out of Ingolstadt, Bavaria. In 1776, they formed in Bavaria. There was a Jesuit university there of Ingolstadt, and a man named Adam Weishaupt was a professor there. It was a Jesuitical institution, and he modeled his secret society on them, although he opposed everything that the Jesuits were about. There's actually not much, as popular as this subject is, and it's exploded probably due to Dan Brown, and before that, Robert Anton Wilson. There's not all that much written about this subject, although it created an amazing amount of hysteria through the years. There was proof of conspiracy by a Professor John Robison, and another one by Abbe Barruel, a monk. Well, he was an abbot, writing about the French Revolution. I forget. Bear with me a moment. I'm going to check on the name of that. They were huge hits in their time. Professor John Robison was a Freemason himself, but he was a British Freemason, and he said, "I'm against what's going on with the Freemasonry in the continent." So I guess he was okay with the British type, more or less. Let me just get the name of this. Bear with me. Oh, I don't know. I'll leave it in the liner notes. But there was a about regarding the French Revolution. He was very against Voltaire. Voltaire, the one that comes up with that quote, "You'll find out who's in power by who you can't talk about," or something like that. So it's kind of confusing. But he was I suppose he was a humanist. The story goes, in brief, that magically speaking, Adam Weishaupt, the leader of the Illuminatus group, Illuminati, was initiated by a mystery man named Colmar out of Jutland in the secrets and the mysteries. Adam Weishaupt is actually, I believe, translated Adam First Man. So maybe that's not even his real name. The Abbey book that I can't remember, that talks about the battle between the Illuminist sect, through their vehicle, through their Jacobin. The Jacobin was a secret society that is said to have been sprung forth from the Illuminist group. Was involved in the very violent, played a role in the French Revolution. And it's very popular, actually, in the United States. No question, and not the way you would think. It's popular. The French Revolution is downright, academics and a lot of people are very inspired by it. They love the Jacobins. The spirit of it is within the United States. The hatred of the monarchy, the dislike of the papist type of thing is in America in certain ways. But obviously it got out of hand. Robespierre and the guillotine. It was bloody. So that's what this guy was writing about. And it was definitely interesting enough. It influenced the writing of Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein. That's why the area of Ingolstadt, Bavaria region. How you doing, Gabriel, brother? Talking about the Illuminati tonight. U.S. time tonight, my brother. Where was I, my friend? Oh. Yeah, it's clearly very popular. Victor Hugo's Les Miserables is the French Revolution. We had a revolution here in the United States. So a lot of people obviously don't like the idea of secret societies. And it's, in that sense, it's un-American. Okay, so he was initiated by this Colmer, mystery man of Jutland. Are the Illuminati responsible for the chemtrails? Who knows, my brother? We assume so. There's no proof of anything because they are secret. But one must assume that they could be involved with such a thing. Let me get back to you on that, my brother. Just going through the history thing. I will get back to you, Gabe. Okay, so and so the reason why this group is considered the most sinister is because because of the fact that their name was a lot cooler than just the Freemasons. Obviously. Next month on the Rapture. Oh yeah, we were talking about that last time. Let me get to you on that too. We're in it for the long haul tonight, my brother. So, where the hell was it? Yeah, so that was larger, and there was Weishaupt recruited a Baron Neig, if I'm saying his name right, who was big in Freemasonry in Germany, and so he hooked him up. Weishaupt did, and then his connections were major, and there was said to be a huge conference, and Weishaupt was basically intimidating other Freemasonry people, saying, "You're just not the real thing. You're penetrated by Jesuits if you're not an Illuminist." And when I was over in Ingolstadt, I was talking to people, and they were like, "Yeah, the Kings wanted to be in it." I went there. I have a photograph myself in front of it. All that's left is a plaque because they said the church was embarrassed by this anti-monarch, anti-ecumenical organization of the Illuminist. There's a recent book called Educated where they make fun of the people in Idaho because they're like, the Illuminati, you know, it's like, let them comprehend the suppression of the poor people in Idaho anyway they're wrong. They say the people screwing them over, the Illuminists, all the power to them. I didn't like that book, Educated, so far. But anyway, I digress. So, Gabe, so I'm going through the history of the Illuminists. I will get to you, my friend. Two good questions here for the Stash YouTube channel. Okay, so they spread out. And as proof positive, this isn't just because the other book, there's Proofs of Conspiracy, and there's another one, very, very controversial author that was contracted out by Winston Churchill, named Nestor Webster, who had a book, Secret Society and Subversive Movements, which is hard to get a hold of. And she goes through this history. And there's Jim Marrs' Rule by Secrecy, which is an overview, but it's basically, most of it comes from most of why his book was popular probably was Nestor Webster. So, which is a hard book to get hold of, but so it spread out, and it is said to have infiltrated your typical Masonic lodges through Europe. So it was the elite, but it was, you know, secretive, and he used a system of fives. So you could not catch the whole group. It would be that you would be in the group, you would only know the five group, and that's it. You couldn't betray any more brothers if you were caught by the Bavarian authorities. But by some, as religious people say, a miracle, one of their communication riders on horseback who had the Illuminist paperwork was hit by lightning. The guy gets hit by lightning. The subversive paperwork of the Illuminist order of Bavaria is found by the authorities, and they declare it as illegal. So history, the above board acceptable history book that includes the Illuminati, which I'll put it in perspective that they were just one secret society at the time, so they may be the most infamous due to literature and stuff like that. But this was in vogue now. There were all types of secret groups that would eventually develop into major movements. Some would say it's a mysterious coincidence that Adam Smith wrote his capitalist manifesto of Wealth of Nations in 1776, the same year that the Illuminist group, that would be pretty much a communistic group, like their successors, the Jacobins, and I think there was another one, the Encyclopedists, and different groups like that, at the same year. So this is interesting. Illuminatus gets going in 1776. Adam Smith publishes Wealth of Nations. We don't depend on the benevolence of the butcher and the baker. It's trade that makes people free. Yeah, I do. So you could say that if their aim was to get rid of the kings and monarchs, no doubt they were successful. And in the American Revolution was a breaking free of that too, you could say. And all the presidents are Masons. Everybody knows, like Mel Gibson says in Conspiracy Theory. So I made the title of how does this connect to the other two videos I was doing the other nights, to Crowley, which is the magical part of the order, would continue on, they say, to the Crowley group, the OTO, Order of Templar Orientalis, if I'm saying that right. That would be, magically speaking, the succession to Weishaupt to a Mr. Keller, and then Crowley took the lead. I think there was another guy saying Crowley was an AA, and I didn't know that was Alcoholics Anonymous. I was going to clarify to a guy who was commenting on one of these YouTube rants I did. AA. I was wondering if I wonder if he was getting that sort of mixed up with the A. Then it has the 3 dots, and then A, the Order of the Silver Star, or another Golden Dawn type group that Crowley was into. So it is said that so he technically became for a while the new magic in the old English spelling with the K group of the order. So there were many groups like that spread through Europe. Let me get to our guest questions. Let me see. Did you know the Earwick of Bleichschaft? No. Hey, how you doing? It's Mella and Gabe. Yes. Oh, you're at work. Okay. So, are the Illuminati responsible for the chemtrails? The chemtrails. Here's a couple of different views on that. First of all, we must use the term geoengineering because chemtrails are forbidden. If you look on websites of MIT and Harvard and all that stuff, they'll say that this geoengineering, different aspects, one of them being this spraying or a different type of technique, but they say they don't do it. So chemtrails has become a dirty word. And if you look up this guy, Dean Whittington, people who are in the green movement, I don't know, they hate him for some reason. Now, the guy says there's a problem with climate change. He just says there's involvement with this geoengineering. So I try to answer just what information I have, Gabriel. So the information is the Luminous group ended when they were outlawed in Bavaria and Adam Weishaupt, and they went underground. But then people will say, well, they surfaced again in Paris under the Jacobin. The problem is it's a secret group. So, people write and they go, I know this is the Illuminati, but the Bavarian government, the record is that the Bavarian government shut them down. But if you're saying that if there's such thing as a 1% that everybody's talking about, and or military industrial congressional complex, or this or that, then we would have to deduce by logic that they did the chemtrails. There, okay. So I answered that one the best I can. Okay. Let's see. So how do you figure now? How did you arrive at the rapture coming next month? Did I type this in? Why next month for the rapture? Question mark. No. I know these kind of things that you're not supposed to talk about. It is like the domain of the uneducated people, but it's on people's minds all the time. When is the world going to end? When is the rapture coming? Who is the Illuminati? These questions are out there, and we get no answers. I couldn't figure out. Is there like a date? You got like a number? Because it would be like March. Oh, I know. Yes. You're right. It was supposed to be 6 o'clock this morning. Yes, I was fooling around and I made the meteorite one. Although I do, if you, now, that was lousy of me, but if you look under the caption, I do say it will pass. And in my defense, the Drudge Report and the regular news is like, there's a giant size asteroid that could destroy us, and then they wait a long time until they say it's 3 million miles away. But you know what I mean. So I always, every time that comes up, I always do that. Who's that? Oh yeah, there is a prophecy from Rabbi Calderon that says the Messiah will come with 2 Benjamins can't form a government. When 2 Benjamins can't form a government between Purim and Nisan. So that's between 9th March and 25 March. All the rabbis believe the Messiah is about to show up. I'm familiar with when you go through New York, there is a lot of stickers now on the signs that says the Messiah is coming. Yeah. I'm not familiar with the name of that rabbi. I know the Rabbi Schneerson is very, very popular. We believe the rapture is before the revealing of the Jewish Messiah. So this is, the rapture is when you the whole body and everything gets to heaven, right? I've seen photographs. I don't know. So what's the date? Oh wait, you said the date. Okay, from 9 March to 25 March. Well, I'll tell you, some periods of time it does seem more dire. I mean, the strike in Iran, General Soleimani, the other month, it was tense. Young people were like worried they were going to get drafted. Remember that? And now the coronavirus, or Corvo 19, this type of stuff is definitely giving the mood of a end times type of situation. Signs that Messiah is coming. I don't know, maybe the super plague. I know some people refer to China and Russia as the Gog Magog, right? Yes. Do you mean by Benjamins? Are you talking about like Bibi Netanyahu or 2 leaders that name? I've never heard of the 2 Benjamin part. Excuse me, guys. Well, I'm building up some listeners tonight. This is good. After Valentine's Day, we're all in. The rapture. We believe that. So the Benjamin is okay. So we've got BB. I don't know if his name even translates to Benjamin, but who's the other Benjamin? Wait, I gotta put in this. Okay, so this is good. It's this is interesting. All right. Bear with me. Oh, okay. All right. So this is Rabbi Yitzhak Kaduri. Ooh. So he was born 1898 and he died in 2006. He was born in Baghdad. Actually, he died in Jerusalem. Okay, so this is. Oh, okay. So he's got. There's YouTube's coming up about this him recently. So he's the rabbi he disclosed. Okay. Oh, his name has a okay. His name has a bunch of different spellings. I was more familiar maybe with well, if you're walking through New York and stuff, it's more like Benjamin. Oh, okay, right. Because the election was close between Mr. Bibi Netanyahu and Benjamin Gan. Yeah, Garnet's. Oh, and there's tension between the two of them. So the rabbi said the Messiah is coming when. Wow. Okay, so okay, so did the rabbi give the dates of he gave the dates between the 9th and the 25th of March. That's heavy. Wow. I hope I get raptured instead of in a car accident like that. I always have that picture of guys getting raptured. He's driving the car. You're in the driver's seat. You hit the tree. So it's gonna be a leader. The Messiah is coming. Okay, so that's interesting. So he actually said two Benjamins. That's heavy. Wait, let me put the. Okay, so he's. I'm putting this in now. Sorry for the delay. We must check this out. Live. Prophecies. Gonna leave liner notes about that. That's good. Thanks, Gabriel. That's Gabe in Brazil. And although to be fair, when a lot of preachers do or religious people do call these end times, so sometimes something doesn't happen, but that's something. There was Hal Lindsey, the late great Planet Earth. There's that Rapture series. There's been many kind of dispensationalist preachers. They call certain dates. I remember that there was a group from, I think, Korea, and they had put posters everywhere in every city. Are you ready for the rapture? So it does, to be fair, it does happen a lot. I would say that, we must hope for the best. I believe technically, from the Christian point of view, that tradition, I think Jesus warned against that type of thing, technically. I will meet you in heaven, my brother. If I don't make it, you might make it. I might not make it. But yes, I will. I certainly will. That's a good tip, my brother. Where was I going with that? Okay, so I think that the this illuminist fact in fiction and mythology comes back and forth, and actually discussing it or things like that seems to happen before wars and stuff. When people get too down and broke, they start trafficking in discussions of it. Some of it's a lot of dramatic fantasy and paranoia and crap, but I think some of this discussions of such things is also from displeasure of the masses. And as far as Crowley is concerned, I thought I've heard that. Well, he's been credited with the victory sign. Some people say that you're actually seeing Winston Churchill is flashing this victory sign. And some Masons put it out there. I have to be probably the only American who has about 5 or 6 videos on the Austrian super criminal Udo Proch. And when he was arrested, he did some kind of victory sign. He was in Club 45, which was an Austrian Masonic group. And the weird thing about all these ones is some of them are apparently not left wing. They've got some, like the P2 was said to be a right wing one. So they don't all, to the best of my knowledge, they don't get along. I'll put that in the liner notes. I have a Propaganda 2 one. That's where the guy in Italy was found hanging from the. They found their paperwork, and there was a trial, and that was alleged. That was seen as a fascist group. That's why I got to take the comments off of some of these, because actually I've had some of these YouTubes and I make them and I'm excited about them and like dramatic. Like I made one about certain groups, and the YouTube takes them down because they're political. So people start fighting in the comment field, and it's not good. YouTube, I don't want that. So if you're against the Propaganda 2, I'm just talking. Yeah. There's weird, right? Although they all have answers. Like, interesting enough, Crowley will say that he's not a guy. He says in Kenneth Grant's Magical Revival that I don't do black mass. I am not that type of magician. He claims you have to be a consecrated priest that secretly turns away from it to do so, and that's interesting. It's hard to say. There's so many myths about him. For Lonely Hearts Club Band, you can see his bald head right there. He was an expert chess player. He climbed K2. Or was it Mount Everest? No, I think it was K2. But expert chess. He was a poet, and some people say he was good. A lot of people say he was awful. That's what I was saying. We assume he's always. This is really weird. He always gets that idea of satanic, and I don't think he thought of himself that way. Although he was he was not. He certainly had a lot of hatred in his heart for Christianity. His father was of the Plymouth Brethren, the ultra conservative people, and he he went against it with a lot of anger. So it's like really complicated. So he's been, you know. Also, recently, I forget the author who Secret Agent 666, that there it is said that there might even be paperwork to back it up. I read the book a long time ago already now, that he was involved with the MI6, the British intelligence, which is very interesting, and I think it's true. That he may have been even mixed up in the sinking of the Lusitania, which might be, I mean, some of these things come out. It's also under dispute that he did the victory sign. It is under dispute, but he could have. Well, but yeah, it certainly might be satanic. The modern Satan thing was America comes out of San Francisco, my friend. Anton LaVey, out of San Francisco. He was I think he was a circus lion tamer guy. Gut philosophy. I don't know if it's true. Some people say that it was lifted from a really nasty book called Might Makes Right by an unknown author. Some people say it's Jack London, who, by the way, there's a new Jack London movie coming out. There was some guy that was saying that, you know, it's interesting that, well, I won't comment on that. That's from another channel, hearsay. But anyway, Jack, in it's a very, very nasty book. Might Makes Right. I don't know if it's really true that Anton lifted that. Which suffices to say, these things like Dianetics and Scientology are systems that are written by people to manipulate them. I don't know. You'd have to tell me about that, Gabriel. I don't know. Like, the exact signs, I don't know. The plagues, signs and rumors, wars and rumors of wars. Of course, there's always wars. I was going to say, I don't know. You have to just be a good person. It comes like a thief in the night, and there's a lot. Some people base their lives on that. Saint Augustin warned against trafficking too much in worrying about the end, to tell you the truth, in City of God. And I think Jesus said, just be good. It comes like a thief in the night. You have to beware, in other words, of this Book of Revelation, St. John stuff too. It can over-dominate. You just have to love God and love people. And then if you are good, then you'll get raptured up, right? Yeah, I know, but I got my night thing here. Oh yeah, like you were saying, your uniform. Yep. If you do martial arts and stuff, you want to wear a right uniform. You don't want to wear it. But no, I was just trying to look. As this is the only shirt I had tonight, man. Sorry. I am offending. I am not of the Lodge of the Black Brothers, my friend. Although these are dark topics tonight. Geoengineering, the Rapture, the Illuminist, Crowley, the Science of Crowley. How far are we going up? Who else is out here? We've got, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Dhruv. Might be, are you from India? There was one guy from India. Yeah, no, I mean, if you're doing certain, you have to watch out with your colors and intentions. Sure, I agree. Well, I think that's about all I got for tonight, you guys. I hope I didn't offend anybody. Certainly, these books I'm discussing are not available at the public library, I don't think. I wonder if you can go to your library and get a Secret Societies and Subversive Movements. Did I lose you? I will leave in the liner notes the discussion stuff. Okay, so we're looking at between the 9th and the 25th of March. So beware of a popular event. He's sending out good vibes. Thanks, my friend. So I hope this was interesting. And yeah, not that much rambling. Peace, my brother. And I will talk to you guys soon. Probably sooner than you think. In the liner notes, I'm afraid all of mine are weird lately. I'll probably doing another weird Crowley. I think I'm going to do a couple more on him. I don't know why. It's probably, you know what? It's probably, at this point, less controversial than talking about the election in 2020. All right. God bless you guys. Peace to everyone. This is the Stosh channel. Stosh out. Peace.